For more of this colourful event, we're now joined by Lorraine Fleming, a member of the Mahikeng Pride March organising team. Lorraine, a pleasure to have you on the program this evening. Now, Pride events are known to celebrate cultural diversity and also to create awareness for the LGBTI plus issues in South Africa and beyond. Why is this event so important, and also considering where it's happening this time
around? Hi, Santa. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
It's very important that we have this march. It's very important that we have spaces like this. It's very important that we showcase ourselves, and then we make sure that people know about us. We need to rebuild the identity of the LGBTIQ plus community. We need to create inclusive inclusive spaces where we know that if I'm showing up, if I am there, if my mother sees this, if my grandmother sees this, like this lady has just said, then it means that I have a community that is supporting me. And it is happening in Muntsiwa Cultural Village, because Muntsiwa Cultural Village is a place where it is surrounded by a township called Muntsiwa, and it is very important because people see us. It is in a community, people see us, and a township that is the biggest township in Mahikeng. So I think that is why we chose that place.
Speak to us a bit more about the build-up campaigns and as well as the community dialogues and public awareness campaigns which led to this particular event. What has been the planning process?
The process is that we invite stakeholders like your SAPS, religious leaders, also chiefs, and all the other leaders that are leading people in villages, so that because a lot of the times we see that there needs to be an understanding in villages. There needs to be an understanding, awareness, and visibility as well. So with the dialogues, we are trying to create some sort of talk. Like that when you strike a conversation with these people, that they're going to go home and say, Mamang, I heard this and this and this was happening. Did you know that these people exist? And then it's going to start there. Someone's going to say, I don't like this. Someone's going to say, but I actually think that they have a right to be alive, And we also chose March as our date because we're looking at the Human Rights Month, which is very important to us because we're talking about our human rights.
Speaking about talking about human rights, I also want to get your opinion about developing stories beyond South Africa, and more notably in Uganda, where we saw lawmakers actually entrench the criminalization of same-sex conduct, confirming an already existing punishment of life in prison. But also worryingly, the bill is also calling for the death penalty in certain circumstances. What do you make of this?
I really think that Uganda is in the LGBTIQ, let me say, in Uganda are facing a very harsh punishment for being who they are. And I don't think that should be allowed in this day and age. We are in 2023. I have a right to live my life how I want to live it. If I'm going to be forced to be heterosexual, then what type of human rights am I talking about? It means that the people that are enforcing these laws are the only ones that are enjoying human rights. I'm not going to be enjoying my human rights because my right says that I have a right to exist and I have a right to be who I am. And me exercising that, if it's going to be punished, it's going to be met with this oppression, then it means that Africa as a whole needs a whole lot of talks, a whole lot of awareness, a lot of things. And the other day I saw that when this bill was still being processed, the president of Uganda came to South Africa and he was given national orders of our country. That was not, I don't think that was a good thing for the LGBTIQ plus communities in South Africa. It sends a very negative message. It says that our president agrees with what Uganda is doing. It agrees with the laws that Uganda are setting up for the LGBTIQ plus community. And if you remember, South Africa is one of the first countries in Africa to actually legalize same-sex marriages and have all these gender markers and have trans people transitioning and all of it. With all the strides that we've taken, that for us felt like it was a step back. For him to do that instead of just saying, listen, I'm going to stand by my people. When in my country, this is how it happens, and what you are doing in your country is wrong. I don't think that people should be persecuted for being who they are. I do not think that people should be persecuted for loving a person that they want to love or who they feel comfortable in loving.
Let's expand a bit more about your last point. I mean, back here at home, would you agree that the broader acceptance of the rights of LGBTQ plus people remains challenging, or are there areas where you feel that things are getting better, where we are making strides?
I think on paper, we look very good. We look very good. But when you get to the ground, when you get to people in villages, when you get to really rural areas, you find that even the police do not take these cases seriously. You get there and then you report a corrective rape. They will be saying to you, but you are supposed to be sleeping with a man if you're a lady. You're supposed to be sleeping with a man. And then they take that as a joke. I think that even though there are awareness, and then there are SAPS members, and then there are members of the public that work for civil public that actually understand what is going on. There's still a need for us as a country, as people that work for people, especially that work with people like SAPS, people that are the front line, that are essential services, that is, they need to be educated more. I don't know if just education at this point is all that we need, but I think we need a lot of work. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done. Even in the Northwest, we've got a lot of really, really, really hurtful cases that happen. You know, someone goes to the SAPS for help, and they get there, and then they do not get that help.
Yeah.
Because when they get there, they are met with either homophobia, transphobia. You get somebody who's transitioning. Their ID might say Vitumelo, but then they would like to be recognized and, you know, addressed as mine. And that, or to them, to police or to whoever they'd be reporting a crime to, this person would take that as nonsense, or I don't know how to say that. Yes.
And people
So
who...
we still need work.
People who also work to even end violence as well as discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity are also facing multiple forms of risk themselves, like you keep saying. They can be targeted for their actual or perceived sexual orientation or gender identity, and for being human rights defenders as well. Speak to us very quickly about this dynamic. It seems we have a bit of a challenge connecting to Lorraine, but we got the gist of the argument that she's